Next up on our team previews is that of the Adelaide Strikers. And I've already gone through the Melbourne Stars, so go back and check that one out. And the news on that, I suppose, is Glenn Maxwell is going to be out for up to a month there with a grade 2 hamstring strain. So not a great little spot for him, unfortunately. And it's probably going to take him all the way up until opening night. So that is the big watch, especially with him likely to be our captain in round one. For the Strikers, we have Matt Short at 304.2k, which is absolutely wild. The big question is going to be, do you have him in round one, or do you wait until round two to get him in to captain him? That's going to be the big question we all have to answer. In terms of their lineup, we're looking at likely to be Darcy Short and Matt, both opening there. Chris Lynn, number 3, he was incredible last year in the games that he played in the first half of the season. We are likely to see Jake Weatherall play in that first round or two. The reason for that is the fact that we've got Fabian Allen, who's likely to miss round one. He could come in, but he's likely to get selected in his international squad. And then Ollie Pope will be out playing for England as well. So 152k for Pope, who will slot in at number 4 when he is there, but not from the start. And then Fabian Allen, likely to bat at 7, you would say, or 8 there, when he does return into his side. But if Ollie Pope's in, I think they lose one of their batters. And then Fabian Allen might come in for a Harry Nielsen. We'll have to see how that one plays out. But if that's the case, and we do get Fabian for round one, we will speak about him a little bit closer once we find out that information. But at the moment, he's not. Same with Ollie Pope. So we're rolling with this, and we can look to those guys when they come back. Weatherall at 114. Chris Lynn at almost 200k there. You got Alex Ross, moves over from the Thunder Boys at 84.5k. We see Jamie Overton at 207.7k, but he was spectacular last year. And if he bats 6... Sometimes he batted 7 last year, but if he's at 6, it's even better. And he bowls 4 overs, so he was awesome, and he deserves a chance to be in our side, given the Strikers do have a double in round 2. So do you select him in round 1, or do you select him in round 2? That's the big question. And my highlighter is on Matt Short, Jamie Overton, and currently Henry Thornton, with Harry Nielsen coming in at 7 at 58.5k. Just not going to pick him because he'll be out of the side when Ollie Pope comes in. In my opinion, I don't think you can select him, but if you are, it's for 1 week likely, or he's just going to stink it up on your bench and be a non-player after the start of the season, unless there's an injury to Pope. Henry Thornton, he's likely to bat 8 in this lineup, and he's likely to bowl 3 to 4 overs. Definitely 3, a good chance for 4, which at that price is awesome if he's fit, and he should bowl with the new ball and also near the death overs with that of Jamie Overton, who will be a death bowler in this side where we know a lot of the wickets can come from in the death overs. Boise and Lloyd Pope both had really, really good seasons last year at 119.8k and 134.4. The value isn't there as such compared to that of Thornton, who we know has been well into the hundreds. Last year, years previous, he got that 6 for against the Thunder a bunch of years ago as well. So we know that he can do it, and if he's fit, he is going to be a guy that you'll want in your side, I think, in for that double in round 2 at under 100k, which is hard to get people of value. Less in the bowling slots, but especially across the team at the start when you have a lower team value than what you'd like. He's someone you want to look to get in your side. And if we do happen to see Jordan Buckingham, it could be him, Basley, could be Brendan Doggett. If it is Buckingham, he's been playing really, really well for Shield, but he's currently battling a side strain. But if he gets that nod, he'll be in my side 100%. If we hear that he's going to miss round 1 and come in for round 2, he also might make my side as well. So it's an interesting one that is there. And if he is going to get a regular spot at 39.5k, I think he needs to be in your side, regardless if he misses a game or 2. So that's the options there with Thomas Kelly in there for some further batting back up there. But James Basley, he's been much higher priced in previous years, but the role is the big question. If he was to play in this team, I think he does, and replace. Well, if you replace one of their batters, he'd obviously come in and bat probably 7. If you replace a bowler, he might be at that 8 or 9 type of range there. So, and to bowl a couple overs potentially, but we'll look at our bowling stocks right now. So the bowling stocks, when Fabian Allen comes in and plays, they do have 4 spinners available with Matt Short as well to go along with Boyce and Pope, and then there's 5 pace bowlers in this whole setup. You've got Buckingham, you've got Henry Thornton, you've got Overton in there as well, and then you look at Basley and obviously Doggett as well. So the big question here is going to be, when they have their full lineup available, is it going to be 4 spin, 3 pace? Are they going to go 3 and 3? Do they drop one of their spinners when they bring Fabian Allen back in, who is a spinner? And as I said, he's likely to bat 8 bowl 4 overs if he's there. Do they drop one of those spinners? And that probably shows there, if that's the case, and they have a Buckingham or a Basley or a Doggett, they're not going to be the 4 over guy, likely. It will be Thornton and Overton who will have that role, which is really nice. And then the spin will just be dependent on who bowls really well that day. And if a Pope or a Boyce don't bowl that well, then maybe Matt Short bowls a few extra. So that's the big question for someone like Matty Short there. So with Darcy, he was really cheap last year. He batted pretty close to what we should expect. Had some good games, had some not so good games. Short will be the must-have captain for round 2, but do you buy him now or then? Chris Lynn, as I said, played really well last year. He's very high price for bat only and is better this year, higher price this year than previous years after doing so well. Jake Weatherall, we know what he's done in previous years. He's the same price as Darcy. I think we know what we expect from him. The odd good game, the odd getting out early. Alex Ross, it's a new team, but it's a similar role. He's very cheap, but at 5, it's pretty hard to pick. We spoke about Overton. Thornton as well. Boyce and Pope. Yep, easy. I just missed those batters, which is good. And then the batting stocks. You're looking at... It's pretty solid, to be fair. Lots of experience. You've got guys like, Darcy Short and Weatherall, Alex Ross, all experienced characters, so they can all do a job, and I think they're going to have a pretty solid year. They just need to make sure that the bowling lineup's good, and if they've got the spin attack that's doing great with Overton and Thornton, I think they'll be able to do well. But it needs to be a pitch that takes to spin. Otherwise, it could be a little bit of a tough, it could be tough games for them in that scenario. Whereas I think, with Brisbane winning last year, they had such a great combination of the pace and the spin. Whereas I think they're lacking a little bit, especially if Henry or Overton aren't incredibly fit coming into this. Overton just came back and bowled for England, and then Thornton, we need him fit and firing at the same time, which is good. Is what is needed for them. But the batting stocks are pretty solid, and they've got Kelly that can come in and do a job as well. And with those bowlers, just to talk about a little bit further, you're likely going to be seeing 6 bowlers in round 1, maybe in round 2 as well. If Fabian Allen comes in, the question's going to be, if he replaces Nielsen, then that gives them 7 potential bowlers, and how many overs does Matt Short get in that scenario? That's the big one, especially with so many spinners in the side. Nielsen and Weatherall or Ross, so 1 or 2 of those guys are a good chance to come out for Pope and Allen, which would then create an extra bowler, as I said, making it harder for a few of those guys. And I don't think it really affects the pace bowlers at all that they're going to have in their side. And you're looking to the best roles in their team. You've got Matt Short. He is the best batter in the comp and likely to have 2 or 3 overs. Overton's next up. He's going to bat 6 or 7, bowl the 4. Thornton, he's likely got 4 overs and he's under 100k. And then number 4 there, if they've go 2 spinners, then whoever is the third quick, the cheap guy in a Buckingham or something like that, I think has a nice role on this side, because they should be able to get at least 2 overs, hopefully 3 for your bonuses, and will put that player in a good stead, a good opportunity at least to be able to do pretty well. And that's what we're looking for with the strikers. We're going to want 5 or 6, a good chance of them in round 2 when they do have the double. So it's 2 or 3 in round 1, buying another couple in, you're looking at sort of that 5 number, I think, coming into round 2. So you might be looking at Matt Short, Overton, if there's a cheaper, batter in there. If not, it might be Fabian Allen, Thornton, and a Buckingham. That could get you to your 5, or a Doggett or something like that for the double, depending on how things play out with the strikers. Or you could target their the scorchers for that week and then trade them out. Whereas the strikers have the double in 2 and 4, round 2 and 4. So that could be helpful to have a bunch of them in your side and not move them on until after round 4. So there's a few things to go about. We do need to make sure that they actually have a good role. Some people will pick Chris Lynn on the double, but do you start with him from round 1? That's probably the big question as well. It's hard for a bat-only guy, whereas that Overton, only 10k more expensive, has more consistency than what Chris Lynn could offer as a bat-only guy. And then we lose a couple of guys in the test team with Alex Carey and Travis Head. And as I said right there before, we like to want 3 strikers in our team for round 1 to prep for their double in round 2. How do we fit Short and Maxwell in from round 1 if they're fit, and if we do so at all? Right now, I'm potentially looking to not do that. just because of the difficulty of fitting some good players in from round one. And round two, there are a lot of really good players. If you're looking at Overton and Shaw, they're two of the best players in the game. You've got guys from the Perth Scorchers that are awesome. Finn Allen from the batting perspective. You've got Aaron Hardy in at number 3, who will bowl a bit. You've got guys like Josh Inglis with the wicket-keeping bat slot. You've got a bunch of really good bowlers in Berendorf and Richardson and these types of guys there, Lance Morris. They could all do incredible work. So that's probably the question coming into round two. I think there are some better overall scorers in round two than there are in round one. You're likely to be taking a punt on some guys in round one with their doubles compared to the punt you would take in round two. It's a much lesser risk in that second round. And then obviously in round 3 when there's 3 teams on the double as well. So a bunch of things for you to consider and to think about when you're selecting your round 1 sides is not just looking at round 1 specifically, but looking at round 2 and beyond to fit the correct players in your side. That is the Adelaide Strikers. We're going to leave it there. We've had the Stars, we've had the Strikers. We will be moving on to a bunch of other teams across the next couple of weeks. We'll get all these previews out. I'll get a little structure video of my team and we'll go from there. We're getting closer, a few weeks away now. We're under 3. Super excited, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out over the next few weeks with guys being available and any other signings that come up across the time. See you guys.